that is cell, the fundamental unit of life. Well, our planet is inhabited by a wide variety of living organisms which look quite different from each other. These include bacteria, protozoa, fungi, plants and animals. Whatever organism is there, all the living organisms are made up of microscopic unit called cell. So cell is microscopic. We cannot see with naked eye. In order to see single cell, we need microscope. So that's why we call cell as a microscopic unit. We cannot see cell directly. Cell is also called structural and functional unit of life. Structural and functional unit of life. See, as the name suggests, why cell is called structural unit? Because all living things are made up of cell. And cell is called functional unit because cell is capable of performing basic functions of life like nutrition, respiration, growth and reproduction, etc. Our body is made up of million trillion of cells. I would like to tell you here what cell is to living things, atom is to non-living things. I mean to say, as all living things are made up of cell, all non-living things are made up of atom. Okay, all living things, whether big in size, whether small in size, they are made up of cell. Our human body, that is made up of million trillion of cells. And in our body, there are more than 200 different kinds of cells which are specialized in their function, such as memory, sight, movement, digestion, etc. Now we are going to study what do you mean by unicellular and multicellular organisms. See, uni means one. So, uni means one, multi means many. So, unicellular organisms means those organisms whose body is made up of single cell. Multicellular means whose body is made up of many cells. Now, as body is made up of single cell, it means the organisms who are having only one cell, they are able to perform all the basic functions like nutrition, respiration, reproduction, etc. So it means single cell is capable of independent existence. Even single cell can survive, like bacteria, amoeba, paramecium, euglena and many more. All these organisms are having one cell in their body and they are capable of independent existence. Okay, if we have to differentiate uni and multicellular organisms, then unicellular are having single cell in their body. In multicellular, there are many cells. Single cell is able to perform all the functions, so there is no division of labor because single cell is performing all the basic functions. But in multicellular organism, there is division of labor. Different cells, they are specialized to perform different functions. And lifespan of unicellular organism is shorter, but multicellular organisms, they have big lifespan. They can live for long time. I hope this is clear to you. Now we are going to study about discovery of cell. Discovery of cell. So cell was discovered in 1665 by Robert Hooke. In 1665, Robert Hooke, when he was observing a thin slice of cork, cork is the bark of tree, which is dead actually. When Robert Hooke, he took thin slice of cork and observed it under microscope, which was primitive, which was made by him only. So he observed thin slice of cork under his self-designed microscope. What he observed? He found that this kind of honeycomb-like structure was there. Honeycomb, you might have seen, there are small chambers. So he felt that there are small chambers, small rooms, because he gave it term cell, because cell in Latin language means small rooms. He found little room-like structures and he called it cell. It happened in 1665 and he observed dead cell in the cock because cock is having dead cell. Then in 1674 another scientist, Leeuwenhoek, he discovered living cell. In 1674 Leeuwenhoek, he discovered living cell in pond water. Robert Hooke first time discovered cell in the cock, that was dead cell. Then in 1674 Leeuwenhoek, he discovered living cell. After that in 1831 another scientist, Robert Brown, he discovered and named the term nucleus in the cell. He observed nucleus and he named it. Then in 1839 another scientist, Purkinje, he gave the term protoplasm, that is all the living matter in the cell. Whatever is there in the cell membrane, that matter is protoplasm. Means protoplasm is all the living matter including nucleus. Nucleus plus cytoplasm is protoplasm. Then in 1838 and 1839, two German scientists, Schleiden and Schwann, he was botanist, he was zoologist, he proposed the idea. Schleiden said that all plants are made up of cell and Schwann said all plants and animals are made up of cell. So they gave the basis of cell theory. Later on in 1855 another scientist, Virchow, he further elaborated cell theory. He said all new cells arise from pre-existing cells. So now we are going to write what cell theory says on the basis of their findings. First, Schleiden and Schwann said that all plants and animals are made up of cell. Then Virchow said that new cells arise from pre-existing cells. Now we are going to write what is cell theory actually. First point is all living things are made up of cell. Cell theory states that all living things are made up of cell. Second, they said cell is capable of carrying out all the basic functions. Means all metabolic reactions takes place in the cell. And next, they said that new cells arise from pre-existing cells. New cells arise pre-existing cells. And next point is that all living organisms, they start their life from single cell, that is from zygote. So life starts from life of all living organisms start from single cell. So, I hope this cell theory is clear to you. First of all, Schleiden and Schwann proposed it, then Virchow added to it, and on the basis of this, these are the postulates of cell theory. Now we are going to start prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So, now we are going to study about prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. See, cells are of two types, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. And organisms which are made up of prokaryotic cells, they are called prokaryotes, and which are made up of eukaryotic cells, they are called eukaryotes. Now we are going to study what is the meaning of pro and eukaryotic cells. See, in prokaryotic cells, see, this is cell. What is here? In prokaryotic cell, nucleus is without membrane. See, our house is having boundary wall which specifies the area which belongs to our house. It means which belongs to us. Similarly, in the prokaryotic cell, the nucleus, it is not having boundary wall. So what will happen if there is no boundary? Means nucleus, nuclear material, it is free floating in the cytoplasm. So it is very hard to find out where is nucleus. Nucleus is without nucleus membrane, so genetic material is freely floating in the cell. But in case of eukaryotic cell, nucleus is having proper membrane, that is called nuclear membrane. As cell is having membrane called cell membrane, nucleus is having membrane called nuclear membrane. We will study it in detail in the next video. Okay, in prokaryotic cell, membrane bound nucleus is absent, but here membrane bound nucleus is present. So we are going to write, this is the basic difference in pro and eukaryotic organisms. In prokaryotic, well defined nucleus absent. Okay. In eukaryotic organisms, well defined nucleus is present. So this is the basic difference. In prokaryotic organisms, nucleus is not having nuclear membrane, so that's why we say well defined nucleus is absent. But in eukaryotic organisms, well defined nucleus is present. Apart from this, membrane bound organelles means all organelles we will study further in the cytoplasm. There are different cell organelles. As we have different organs, similarly in the cell also different organelles are there. These are absent, means these membrane as in the nucleus, nuclear membrane is absent. In different organelles, membrane is absent again. Membrane bound organelles are absent. Okay, but here membrane bound organelles are present. Okay, another difference. In prokaryotic organisms, there is single chromosome. You know, chromosome, that is genetic material. There is single chromosome. Chromosome is a unit of inheritance. They have genes. Single chromosome is there. Here, more than one chromosome is present. Okay, single chromosome is present, more than one chromosome is present. And the most important thing, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, they vary in size also. Size of prokaryotic organism is 1 to 10 mm. And here they are comparatively larger in size. They are 5 to 100 mm in size. So they differ in size. Number of chromosomes is single here. They have more than one. Membrane bound nucleus and membrane bound organelles are absent in prokaryotic. In eukaryotic, these are present. One more thing. Prokaryotic organisms, they divide by budding, by fission, as it takes place in unicellular organisms. But in eukaryotic organism, division takes place by mitotic and meiotic cell division. That you will study in detail in 10th standard. I hope these differences are clear. Okay, now come to the example of prokaryotic organisms like bacteria. These are prokaryotic. And under this, like we are eukaryotic. Apart from this, even amoeba, paramecium, which are made up of single cell, they are eukaryotic. It is not compulsory that all unicellular organisms are prokaryotic. Amoeba, paramecium, euglena, all these are unicellular, but they are eukaryotic, means well-defined nucleus is present. I hope you are clear with the discovery of cell and what is the difference in pro and eukaryotic cells, what is the difference in uni and multicellular cell, and different scientists who gave the term nucleus, protoplasm, cell theory.